Hi everybody, Emily here for Scrap Academy, and this week we are looking at how to take inspiration from a mood board. So for this mood board, what really struck me was the amount of white. It's very autumnal and we can find some autumn colors, but there was quite a lot of white and they were very muted and easy colors. We could also find some bit of orange, a bit of grey and a bit of mustard. So from a color scheme, this is what I pulled out from it. Now when it comes to the actual mood of it, I did pull out the coziness of it and I went with that. What you can do with a mood board, it doesn't have to always be the color scheme that you take from it, but you can also take the mood and the feelings you get from it. So this is what I did. I used the color combination and I also used that coziness feeling from that mood board. I started by whitewashing with some white gesso, this paper that was written weekend vibes. I still wanted the weekend vibes to pop through, but I wanted to really mute it to reflect that mood board. I then went on to cut out some of the tags from that Simple Stories paper, pattern paper, and these were tags that reminded me of the mood board. It doesn't bother me if I don't use all of them. Once my gesso was dry, I went on with several different shades of yellow and gold mustardy colors from Lindy's Gang powders, and I placed it onto a sheet of plastic. So this is originally the plastic wrapping from my Maggie Holmes chipboard. So you can see you can just use whatever you want as a base. I used the packaging technique to transfer that color onto my background and I just layered it. Now what happened with white gesso is that you'll see once it dries also a little bit whitewashed and not as strong as you can see here on the background right now. I then went on to sprinkling very lightly some kind of browny brown mist, and once all that was dried, so now we're dried, I went to decorate my page. So I chose some stickers from the Simple Story sticker book. And same again, I used some very muted, very light colors and some grays because I really wanted to stick to that mood board kind of color combination. I also pulled some little embellishment that I had in my box. That little ticket, you might be able to recognize it from the rack that I had received from Anne Freeman when we did the rack week. You can go back, all the videos are still available on the group and you can go back and have a look at it. I then trimmed my photograph. So that photograph is of Sophie and her father, and I love the fact they look so cozy on it, even though it's I think taken on Christmas morning because they're wearing their Christmas pajamas from last year. I thought it would still work very well with my layout. I just wanted to scrapbook that particular photo and just give it that cozy vibe. I am now playing around with how I'm gonna layer my embellishments, and as you could see on the mood board there were a few pumpkins and I wanted to bring that back. There was also a photo with quite a lot of acorns and I wanted to bring that back also. Once I was happy with the placement of all of these, I went on and stick down my elements. What I did though is I placed them ever so slightly more over the left than I had it to start with because I thought it wasn't centered enough as it was, and I wanted to bring it back to the left of my layout. I mounted this photo. So this is a paper that I do love but I'm struggling to use, and usually I find out that when there's a paper that I do like but I struggle to use, the best way for me to use it is to use it to mount my photo on, so I can just still get a little peekaboo of the effect and because the flowers were on a white background, I thought it would work quite nicely with that whitewash effect of this mood board. I mounted my photograph onto double-sided sticky foam pads just to add some volume, and I added it to my background. I then went around to find some Leo grey hearts that I placed around. So I found 3 just to follow the rule of 3 that I especially like and I like to use on my layout. And I'm just going around the stickers and trying to find something that I'm going to enjoy adding to my layout. I then chose those Pebbles Golden stickers, the kind of puffy stickers of leaves, etc. And I'm just adding some details around my layout because, again, on the mood board we had quite a few like branches, and like I remember those brooms on a doorstep, and it just, I just like the idea of that kind of autumnal idea and nature idea. So also another tip that I have is that I will look at the mood board and really look at it and just think it through when I observe it, but then I put it away and I don't look at it again because I just don't want to be too literate when I copy it. I just want to have a good look, pull a few words. So like I said, I pulled the idea of the colors, and I pulled the idea of coziness and the idea of autumn and pumpkins, but then I don't go and look at it again, and it helps to really inspire myself from it without being too into it. That means that I can still keep my style and keep my way of scrapbooking without being overly influenced by a mood board or a sketch. It's something that I do quite often. I'll sit, I'll observe it, I'll make some mental notes of it, and then I'll put it away and I don't look at it again. So yeah, that's a layer tip. I'm now looking at mounting a layer word, and as you could see, I've mounted it first on that grey paper because I had some scraps, but then I noticed that the words that are in white were shining through a little bit, and therefore I decided to mount it on just a plain cardstock. I knew the pink wouldn't come through the sticker, so I just mounted it on a bit of scrap pink cardstock that I had, and I went on to add it to my layout. You also noticed that I first placed a sticker onto the tag at the bottom, but I removed it quite easily. I didn't like it and I wanted to add that flower, so yeah, you can just move and change. I then chose this Together title. I thought the Cozy Day wasn't enough of a title, I needed something a little bit bigger, so I chose that Together word from the Maggie Holmes cards chipboard board, and I mounted it onto double-sided sticky foam pad to add even more volume. I went through the Pebbles puffy words, and they are quite aimed for card making. There's quite a lot of greeting words, but by looking carefully I was able to pull a few words that would work for this layout, and I think it's best friends, forever, and love you. It just worked because Sophia adores her father, so he's definitely her best friend. So, and there you go, that's my layout. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned a few tips on how to take inspiration from a mood board, and please don't hesitate to leave any question if you have any, and I can't wait to see what you create with this mood board. Thank you for watching. Bye.